Hey guys, today's Lost Sector's K1 Communion on the Moon. There's going to be 2 overloads and 3 barriers. Moving on to the build, we're going to be using Stormcaller with Chaos Reach. With Healing Rift, you could use Empowering Rift if you want. Burst Glide, Ball Lightning, and Storm Grenades. Moving on to the aspects, Electrostatic Mind makes us when we collect an Ionic Trace, it makes us amplified. And Arc Soul will give us increased damage just for popping our Rift. Fragments, we're going to be using Spark of Beacons while we're amplified. Our Arc Special Weapon Final Blows create a blinding explosion. Spark of Shock makes our Arc Grenades jolt targets. Spark of Discharge, Arc Weapon Final Blows have a chance to create an Ionic Trace. And Spark of Feedback, when we take melee damage, we deal more melee damage, but you could also go for a Spark of Ions instead. Moving on to the weapons, I'm going to be using an auto rifle for the barriers, Salvager Salvo as a weapon to get most of my ad kills, and Leviathan's Breath to deal boss damage as well as champion damage. On the artifact mods, we're going to be using Thunderous Retort, which gives our super increased damage if cast while critically wounded or amplified. Electric Armor, which gives us increased damage resistance while amplified. And Knot strikes twice after throwing an arc grenade, gain increased grenade recharge for a short time. Moving on to the mods, we are using a hybrid build, so we're going to have an Ashes to Assets as well as a hands-on. I'm going to have an Arc Siphon mod for my Salvager Salvo. Moving on to the gloves, heavy-handed and firepower, so we have 2 different avenues of orb generation through both types of abilities. All these orbs are going to be used to power emergency reinforcement, but it's also going to be used for innervation, invigoration, and recuperation. A powerful attraction on the mark will allow us to pick our orbs up with our Rift. The exotic of choice today is Crown of Tempest. Alright, moving on to the actual Lost Sector run. This first room is going to have a barrier in it. We'll get it to spawn by killing all the ads in the room. Most of them will fall down from that ceiling, so as long as you can have a grenade there, most of the time you'll kill lots of them on the drop. We're just going to shoot one Leviathan's Breath at this barrier, and move on to the next room. This next room will have a barrier in it. You'll end up spending most of your time in this room. I'm just going to be using all my abilities as soon as they come up. We're making so many Ionic Traces with this build, we're getting most of our abilities back almost instantly. We're going to pop our super the second we get that barrier shield down, because we will get it back another time in this Lost Sector run. For the overloads, we're going to be using our grenade to stun them. One to 2 of the Leviathan's Breath shots, and then we're going to move on. Popping our Rift around the enemies to get distribution. There's going to be another overload right here in this room. Now to get the boss to spawn, we just have to kill all the ads. The boss will spawn when you kill all the shanks. The Lost Sector can be a little annoying because when you kill those vandals, they're dropping those slow fields. We're just going to sit here and shoot this boss until he's about a 3rd HP. It's about when all the enemies are going to start showing up behind us. Pop our super to kill the vandals as well as the boss. The vandals are what caused the barrier to spawn. Champion has 2 spawn locations. One of them is over here on the left, and one of them is over on the right side of the room. Once we kill this champion, we're good to go loot the chest. That's all there is to it today. Happy farming.